Hey folks, I'm out here with Richard Snow, a Facebook buddy of mine. We've been talking about getting together for 3 years, probably now. Finally, today is the day. Finally got together with him. He's 30 minutes from my house. We finally got to meet. And so Richard is a gentleman who has a lot of interests just like me. He's into saws, axes, knives, outdoor stuff.
Tools, tractors.
Garden, tractors, all kind of stuff.
You
So,
name it.
yeah, so anyway, folks, he's going to help me and give me some teaching on filing a this old Crosscut, two-man Crosscut saw of mine that I'm trying to get ready for the log cabin project. So I'm going to run this thing and just let Richard do what he does, and that's show me how to do this stuff.
Well, we need to start by joining the teeth, but just to show you how this one works, I'll just do one real quick run with this one, and then we'll get another tool and use a longer full-size file. I think we'll get better results the longer the file is starting off. You just run it down the teeth and create your little flat spots on here, and then that gives you something to file up to. But let me set up a longer file in one of my other gauges, and then we'll use that. So hold that right there, or you can go ahead and do
this. No, sir, I'm gonna watch you.
Okay.
So what do we call this?
That
Richard.
is a raker gauge set up as a joint.
So this is the raker gauge you were just telling us about, and it is set up for 12 thousandths, the depth of 12 thousandths, and he's got the file mounted on there so that he can bring all these teeth down to the right depth. It's basically dulling the saw before we sharpen it. There you go, Richard.
It's kind of I almost cringed my teeth when I thought, man, I've got to sharpen this saw, but I'm going to dull them first.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I've got that set up, and you just simply, you kind of want to keep heel pressure, so you don't want to bump in and stop at the little spotty. That's what I do, is just
Now, can you feel the height of different teeth on that?
You can. It will actually stop and bump. That's why I like to keep heel pressure. If you don't, you run into a taller tooth or a tall raker, it's going to actually stop your progress, your forward progress. But
overall, this saw feels pretty good as far as teeth.
Pretty fair, yeah, pretty fair as far as level.
Right. And that's what's happening.
These are not being touched here just yet, so we've got something here that's still a little bit higher than these down here, which is probably your raker. It's filed, these are not being cut, so this is probably tall enough that it's
I see where it's
holding them up. That's the purpose of
the raker. The raker should be lower, right?
Yeah, they should be 12 thousandths lower once you're finished, 12 to 13. Now on a bucking saw, a little heavier, you can go 15 or 16 to 17.
That's what I saw Warren Miller say. By the way, if you are like me, just learning how to do this stuff, watch Warren Miller's series of videos on sharpening these saws. So I'll put a link in the description box on where you can find that information.
Humidity, something else.
Oh, it is. Crazy.
I go through buckets of moisture.
Oh, me too. Me too. And check out this saw vise that Richard made. It's not exactly like Warren Miller's, but it is sturdy. A tornado's not going to take it away. It's got 6x6 legs down here, support beams. This thing's and it'll tilt. It's got a tilt arm right here, so you can tilt it when you're doing certain sharpening. So you want it up straight then?
Yeah, for joining, yeah, that's actually the best.
And then he's got a little
filing. You want to bend it over to about a 45 degree, but
gotcha.
Yeah, it's actually easier to joint while it's up like that.
Well, that's a sturdy table right there.
Yeah, it's really
Vise,
nice.
file vise.
Yeah, that's actually easier already.
Rotates right here.
Those all threads thread in here about a good 12 or 14 inches.
Cool.
So that gives you support way on out here. It's actually very heavy duty.
No doubt.
When you says, Richard, how about helping me out here? I knew you didn't have a blade vise.
No, I
didn't.
Nothing.
I says, you know what? It's time to build.
Time to build one, man.
When somebody
Necessity.
asks you to help them,
That's
you know
right.
what? The least you can do is help them.
That's
if you
right.
can. And the only way to help you was to build a vise. So
Yeah.
you're really why I built
Well,
this thing.
I inspired you then, all right?
Yep.
I'm felling all my trees with an axe and debarking them all by hand. And the thing that I got to thinking about, I'm gonna leave my log ends axe cut where I can, but some of them I have to saw, and I didn't want to use a chainsaw. I'm trying to do it by hand. So that's what got me interested in doing this, is getting this thing up and running and be able to cut my saw, buck those logs so that when we do the button pass technique, it'll be a flat end, not a, I'll have to do it with a saw. So, yeah, man, this is exciting right here, buddy.
Okay. We'll
So
get the
I
other-
see silver on each one of these now.
And that's what you file to.
Yeah.
You file until you do not have that flat spot.
Right. So every one of
Simple as
them.
that. Now the next thing we'll do is we'll come in here and we'll go ahead and lower these. And you can feel it. You can feel right across the top of this nail how that's high. We want to file those flat. Okay.
These right here.
Yep. You
That's
feel that?
that's the rakers.
Yep, that's the raker. That
These are
raker
the-
needs
these
to
are the
be
cutters.
about 12 thousandths lower than your cutting teeth. And then what we'll have to do is do the whole process and then come back in here and then re-gauge everything and then lower these to a final height.
Gotcha.
Which is, we'll probably want to go down to about 14 or 15 thousandths on this heavier blade.
Okay.
But for the time being, let's file them, these flush at 12 thousandths. Then we'll sharpen the teeth. Then we'll come back and work on these.
Nice.
And we're not going to swedge these. We'll just file them to where they're on a good angle, like so. Okay.
They look like they're at a pretty good angle already from what I've seen on
Yeah,
some of the
they'll be
videos.
fine. Once we come back and file this at about that angle to where we don't have any flat spot, we've just got a point. That will be fine, because that will rake now.
That's what I need.
And I use, since those specific teeth filing files that you need for filing your teeth, see what I mean? Mm-hmm. If you accidentally hit that with a smooth back, you're not going to damage your teeth.
Right.
But since these are so expensive, just filing something flat, I don't need this expensive file. These are a whole lot cheaper and more affordable, so I do all I can with a flat file, but when it comes to these, I use a specific.
No doubt. I want to look at this file right here.
Yeah.
So what Richard was talking about here, let me see if I can get in camera, is this this file here. Let me show you what it looks like. He showed me this. It's got both, it's a triangular shaped file, but the back side is smooth, just smooth metal. With the file right here, it's kind of a fine tooth file. So I'm excited to see how he uses that.
I had to file all of mine, and once we file all these teeth and get everything set up, and then come back and file these, then I gauge each tooth with a feeler gauge, because even after all that, we're going to find out that we've got 2 or 3 teeth every now and then that are going to be a little bit high. So you've got to come back and adjust each tooth individually until you get your saw pretty much set up. And then when you start maintaining it, you know, you can just brush everything up, and you won't have to do everything.
This old saw here, once it's to working order, just it's like a good axe.
Yeah.
You've got to just maintain it after it's good and sharp.
Just brush it up and keep it sharp. But initially, this is going to take. This may take 8 hours.
Yeah, you can feel this tool steel.
Yep, you
on
can
the
feel
file.
the
It's
file
like
glide
it just
right
slides
across.
like
Yep.
like it's greased.
Yep, absolutely.
And you can tell when it's to the just below the surface of that gauge,
Yeah, it
because
stops.
it's no longer biting.
File's not catching on the
Yep.
teeth. So the cabin you're building down there now, is that like a weekend cabin?
No, it's 5 minutes from my house.
Oh, okay, so
and
that's...
it's actually a test in self-reliance,
Okay,
basically,
okay.
to see if I can build it with hand tools.
Right.
The next one I build will actually be a bigger cabin.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of a practice cabin.
I follow you.
So I'm going to build a bigger one on my family property down in Middle Georgia.
Yeah. You know, on PBS here several years back, they had that fellow that went to Alaska and lived up there for years and years.
Yeah, for 30 years. Alone in the wilderness.
That was impressive,
No
watching
doubt.
him build his cabin.
Yeah.
And even watching him create the hinges for his door.
Oh, isn't that something?
Using knotted pieces
Yeah.
and this and that.
Yeah, he's
You know,
an inspiration to me, I'll tell you.
I mean,
have you seen My Self-Reliance on YouTube? Sean James built that cabin up in Canadian wilderness.
I think I've seen that.
I'll send you a link to it. But he built a cabin up there. It's like 16 by 20, I think, and using hand tools.
Wow.
And, my style cabinet, the joinery will be button pass, but his is actually not, kind of like Dick Bernanke did. And another thing, I've got to drive 1/2-inch rebar through the logs to pin them together. And my plan now is to use brace and bit. So we're going to see. We're going to see. I picked up a couple of
More power
nice
to you.
bits.
Yep. That's why you had them long bits in that bit extension.
Yeah, that's right. And found those. They were just the size I needed. So.
Yep. Go ahead on with
All
that.
right, buddy.
I'll just put it up and down a little bit here. This file may be cutting a little bit better than that one. Try that one. I do have a file brush right here.
Oh yeah, this is cutting way better.
Periodically brush the teeth if you like.
Yes, sir.
Like that. I mean, this is how I learned. Like I say, that two-man cross is the first one I've ever done. So it's not like I've been doing this for years. So I learned by doing just like you're doing right there. And that's the best way in the world. You can watch me all day long and you'll pick it up. But you just learn so much faster by doing it.
That's why we call it doing the stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Do it, you know, you may as well do it right.
Yeah, exactly.
And have something that's going to make it a little bit not only easier but give you better results.
All right, so Richard's got holes drilled throughout the vise where he said, you know, you can lower and adjust this and the height of this blade. And he said that adjusting it here down lower than it was about that high up. Now it's down to this hole. So that we can
keep the flex and the vibration out of the teeth as your file strokes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
your teeth are a little bit
gives you a little more support.
That's right, a little more support, backed up, backwards support.
Cool.
Let's start from this side here, and we'll work this way.
All right.
I'll do a few.
Yeah, show me how it's done.
Okay, I'm going to need to get way on over here.
You do what you got to do.
Bring the camera back over here or something like that. And I just approximate a 45-degree angle, you know what I mean? or there or thereabouts. But like I told you, the first stroke is kind of light, okay, until I see where I'm cutting.
Right.
And that looks okay, so we'll just, march on. And we'll file until the sharp edge is slightly beyond half center, and then come back and get this side to bring it back to the middle.
Gotcha.
Roughly the middle.
That's not an aggressive file either,
No,
is it?
no. We could use something a little bit more aggressive initially here, but this is a specific crosscut saw file, so may as well just use what we've got. But each stroke you want it as flat and consistent as possible.
Oh yeah, that one's down the middle. Looks good.
And I'm a little bit past halfway center, so I can now come back and catch the other side.
And bring it back
down. And there again, I'm using light strokes to where I can see where if the angle is right. And then I actually start from the top and work it down slightly. Until we get that full face to pretty much match up with a good crisp sharp point, which we've got right there, so we can stop right there on that one. When you're filing, you don't want to take any more off than you have to.
Right. Save as much tooth
Yep, that's
as
a fact. Okay. That one's good to go right there.
Right on.
Then we can skip one and then work on this one. Start on this one.
All right. Here goes.
I'm going to sit down and get these shavings out of my shoes.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, Richard.
Yeah, I was out there. I get carried away when I get working and don't worry about it. I just let her rip. It does kind of bother you a little bit when you're standing and you've got sawdust.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see Pearl. She came out and checked you out a little bit, saw who was out here, and then she went on back and she went back to bed. Inside the house, back to bed. You can see these are all different, but they all have a good sharp point and a good edge, so they're all going to cut fine.
We're going to let them cut.
Yeah, I think they're all going to cut fine. We know that these were filed slightly lower, but since we filed these teeth, that's probably going to be about the same height. But I'll go ahead and file this. The angle is not that important, long as it is an angle. What you don't want is it just flat. Because that will glide on the wood, and you've got to have it somewhat angled. So, but the angle is not that terribly important as long as it is angled. One pass at a time, and then I look at every cut, because I'll bring this until that comes to a point again. Okay, we've got flat spots now, and I'll file until that comes to point and stop and go on to the next one.
Gotcha.
Simple as that. And I look every time. As I come back, I'm monitoring that.
And you're keeping that file perpendicular to the blade.
Pretty much flat. This is just flat across the top. Yep. I'm about there now. Okay, that has. I've got just a little tiny bit of flat spot, so one more stroke will do it on that one. That's good. Now we're at a point right there. You can see that. Okay. Flat spot's gone, but now we still probably going to have to lower that a little bit more, but we don't know. So I'm not going any farther on that one until we can get them all like that, gauge everything, and then put maybe a flat edge on here where we can see where we're at. But Amazing what you can learn when you look at a video about twice.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's right, man. Hey, but that's a great instructional video Warren Miller did.
Oh man, what a talented man.
Golly.
What a knowledgeable man.
You know, I sat there and watched all of his videos, and I was like, man, I just gotta learn how to be a sawyer now.
Yep, no doubt about it. I watched every one of them.